This is the Giraffes Don't Eat Steak podcast, a show that brings you marketing stories, tips, hints, and much more. A treat for those who want to succeed in business or marketers who just want to learn.
Hello, Alex.
Hello, how's it going?
I am good. How are you?
I am good, very good. Cannot complain.
How was your fight? Tell me.
Well, I won gold.
Yay!
Great. I had two fights scheduled, and the first one lasted, well, in total, it lasted 7 seconds.
Wow.
Which was nothing. So before I even knew, like, had time to think about what I was doing, I just kicked in, like the instinct kicked in, and all the
Yep.
training kicked in, and it was done. Boom. And I was like, oh, okay. Even at the end of the video, like of the video of the fight, I'm just doing this. What
Shrugging your
happened?
shoulders.
Yeah. And then the second fight I was supposed to have was like 5 or 10 minutes later, but the guy walked up with his coach up to the mat, like hobbling, going, "Oh, I've got an injury. Oh, I'm injured. Can't fight." So,
That was a forfeit.
so
Is that a forfeit?
yeah, so he got taken onto the mat with me, and they raised my hand and said, "I win by," it's called walkover, which is
Okay.
basically you win because of a forfeit. And I was like, okay, um, maybe you're just scared. I don't know. Just, just saw me destroy someone within 7 seconds, so maybe he's scared. No, I'm sure he wasn't, but it was anyway. It's just like, one of those things that you hype yourself up a lot. You have a lot of kind of pre-event anxiety, and then during the event, like during the warm-up, I was like warming up really well, and I was got a good sweat on during the warm-up, and the warm-up was way harder than the fights at the end. you know. And yeah, you just put quite a lot of effort into it. You're training multiple times per week. So you kind of preparing yourself, and then suddenly, boom, one's over, and the second one, the guy can't fight because he has an injury, and it's like, like don't get me wrong, I was very happy with winning gold. Very
Well,
happy with.
I think you're missing the key message here. It's something we talk about all the time, right? Preparation and planning and all the hard work means that the actual job, the actual event, the actual function, the actual market, whatever we do, is the easy part. So you are exactly, this is it, right? Because you did so much planning and preparation up front. That's why it was a 7 second win. If you hadn't, I bet it wouldn't have been.
That's true. That is true.
So well done, you.
Okay. Well, I'll show you the one good thing is the medal is really nice. So I'll show you the medal.
Okay, show us the riddle.
Really good quality one.
Let's bring the medal over. I see. Oh, it's another gold circle, shiny. It says Medellin Pro.
Yeah, and it's really nice because it's got all of the buildings and things of Medellin.
Medellin. Okay.
Medellin, yeah. Yeah, this is very nice
Oh,
quality, and like the lanyard it's high quality
and
compared
blue.
to the one I won the other week. There's a bit of a
The Dubai one.
cheapy medal. So
Ah,
I was happy with this medal. This is a nice one.
the medal for the 7 second win. Okay. Well done, Alex. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And actually, I was asked the other day about how I went from bodyguard to marketing. And it's the same thing, right? In bodyguard, I prep for a whole week, check out the routes, check out the venue, check out the client, check out the attackers. And if I've done my job well, the evening goes off without a hitch and my client doesn't die. So it's exactly
Well,
the same.
yeah, it's exactly the same. I mean, hopefully in my daily marketing activities, people aren't dying if I didn't quite prepare properly. But with your bodyguarding, what's the key things to prepare for? I mean, if you does it depend on the client, or do you have a kind of checklist of the things that you need to prepare for? Like, is there a
Yeah, it is quite a checklist. So the first thing is obviously the client themselves. So I do a lot of research into the clients because I need to know how they're going to behave. Are they going to scream if they see a gun? Are they going to faint? Are they going to run? I need to know so that I can prepare for however they're going to behave. If they're big and hefty and they're likely to faint, I need to prepare myself to drag them off, right? So I need to know about the clients. The second thing is the attacker. So who is after them? I don't need to understand the why, but the who is important. So are they likely to be in a group, or will it be one-to-one? Are they going to, do they like fanfare, so publicity? So it's going to be a loud, big splash with lots of noise. Or are they happy to just slip in and drop some poison in the food? So they don't care how it's done. They just want it done. Are they likely to, so for example, I once looked after a furrier whose attacker was animal activists. They did red paint rather than actual pain, right? So I had to protect against red paint, slightly different to protecting against the gun, right? So just the attacker. Then number 3 is the venue, wherever we're going. So I need to know all the entrances, exits, places people can hide, how they hire their staff, where they get their staff from, all the different ways people can get in, who does the cooking if there's food, what's the likelihood that someone can slip in undetected, where the bathrooms are, like all those kind of things. Even the position that my client will be seated, how far from an entrance or exit so that I can get them in and out quickly, how far from the parking, so I know the route from the parking spot to the table or whatever it is, and then the route. So from the time I pick them up till the time we get to the venue, all the different ways we can go, places we can be ambushed, plan B, plan C, plan D, as well as the route home, same thing. So those are the 4 areas I need to prep for, and I spend a week researching, prepping, and putting in plan A, plan B, plan C. A lot of work, and then on the evening, nothing happens. Everyone's happy, and the client lives. So prep. It's all about prep.
No, that is very interesting. Very, very similar in terms of understanding what is attracting people to a business.
Yeah.
But you just want the reverse outcome in that situation. Like, you understand what's attracting them to the business, and then you need to take steps so that they cannot access that product. And that product is the client that they want to kill, your client that they want to kill. It's very interesting. I remember when you first told me that story, and now whenever I go into a restaurant or anything, I always have in my mind that maybe I should sit with my back to the sort of corner of the walls, and I can see the exit, or I'm close, and I can see all of the entry points. I remember, because you have that sort of in you now, and whenever you go to a place, you just go whoop, straight for that one.
Can't sit with my back to a door. Can't do it.
Yeah.
And I still know where all the loos are immediately. Within 3 seconds of entering, I can tell you where the loos are.
What's the benefit of knowing where the loo is?
I don't know. Sometimes people ask me, and then they ask, and then I'm the one who always knows.
No, but I mean in a bodyguarding situation.
Oh, in a bodyguarding situation. Well, again, you may need to barricade the client in there depending on what's happening, because loos tend to be quite secure, right? Or that could be a place where people are hiding. So it's just always good to know.
I see. You're just being aware of your surroundings and what the potential threats are, or where the potential exits or safe rooms are.
Absolutely.
Okay. And do you think this training on a quite an intense level, where there's quite a serious potential outcome, has just ingrained it into your mind to be someone who is super prepared, super aware of all of the outcomes after your career as a bodyguard? Or do you think you already had it, or do you think it's something that someone can learn?
That's interesting. I think I've always been hyper planned. If you ask my family, they'll always say, like, Erica's the planner. From a kid, I was the one who arranged the nativity plays at home. The cousins would come visit, and I would be even from age 12, be the project manager, going, okay, you'll be Mary, you'll be Joseph, you'll be a sheep. I had one cousin who keeps moaning that she was always the sheep. But so I always did those plays.
She's still a sheep.
No, it's not a sheep anymore.
Don't answer.
So yeah, from a young age, I've always been the organizer, the planner. So kind of maybe I fell into bodyguarding because it fit with my personality. Maybe it's the other way around. And that's why I passed so easily, because it fit with my personality. I wasn't trying to be something I'm not.
Yeah.
It has made me more aware. I'm quite aware of, I people watch a lot, even if I sit on the tube or, and then I have to just calm my brain, because I'll be sitting going, oh, that guy looks a bit weird. Oh, why has he got his hand in his pocket? Oh, what is he doing? There was a guy on the tube the other day. This is horrible. But he had a bag with him and he pushed it under his seat. And he was sitting looking around nervously. And my brain was immediately like, I wonder if that's a bomb. What would I do if that's a bomb? Maybe I should get off at the next stop. No, Erica, you're being silly. Just sit quietly and get to your stuff. Like, because my brain just thinks through all the scenarios. What could be in the bag? I wonder why. Why is he pushing the bag under the seat?
Yeah. I have those feelings too, but I think that's probably compounded by media, and after
definitely
things have happened in the tube like that, and subsequent movies released from that, and you think, but if we really thought it was one, surely we wouldn't be so selfish and just get off the train. We'd be like, everyone run! Everyone get off the train now.
Everyone run! He actually got off before me, so that's okay. And took his bag with him. If he'd left the bag, I may have thought a little bit differently, but he took the bag. It's okay.
But still, there's a relief, right, when he got off the train. It's quite powerful, isn't it? The stories we can tell ourselves. It's like if you're lying in bed at night and you hear a noise, and if you just manage to ignore the noise, it's gone. Nothing happens. But if you start concentrating on the noise, thinking what it is, and thinking, oh, maybe I should go check it out. Maybe I should grab the little whatever I have in my room to go protect myself if I go out. Once you start indulging in those thoughts, starts creating a story and creating a huge amount of anxiety in your brain when nothing has actually changed. The situation is still exactly the same. Whatever that noise was, which was probably just something falling on the floor, was just something falling on the floor. The situation hasn't changed, but the emotions and the story has changed in your mind dramatically. I always find that quite interesting.
It makes me think of our trips to the Kruger, where we stayed in those huts with no electricity, and no glass in the windows, and like all open. And then the moment you blow out your candle and you're in this pitch dark, and then you hear rustling in the straw roof. Yeah. And you're like, do I want to know what it is? Or should I just go to sleep and hope it's not something that's going to kill me?
No, exactly. And then in my mind, I'm thinking about switching the light on, or like the candle. Oh God, I've got one of the things again. Sorry, people, they've got this. The emojis are poking up when I put my thumb up. Anyway, sorry, I get very distracted very easily. So yeah, I kept on thinking, like, if I turn my phone on with the light or something like that, and in my mind I'm thinking I'm just going to see like a lion or something here in front of my face, and it becomes real almost, but it's absolutely not. It's probably just a little cricket walking around, but in your mind. It's power, like the power of storytelling is huge. I mean,
No, it definitely is. Actually, the other thing I did this week was I did a Toastmasters class where I actually won best table topics. But I won it because I had just
one best
heard
what?
table topics, which is impromptu speaking. So you get 1 to 2 minutes to just talk off the cuff. They give you a random question that you've never heard
But
of.
is it? Do you have to tell like a fictional story,
No,
or
you can say anything you like. You have to talk for 1 to 2 minutes.
okay, can be true or not true?
Can be lie, true, but you have to talk for 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
So the question I can't even remember the question I was asked. It was a very deep question. But I had just listened to a podcast about bicycle face. Have you heard about
About what?
bicycle face? Bicycle
Bicycle
face.
face.
Bicycle face was in the 18 somethings when the bicycle first came out, was a woman's disease. So this doctor came out and told all women that if they ride a bicycle, they're going to get this disease called bicycle face to discourage women from riding bicycles. And basically, bicycle face was your cheeks became flushed, your jaw clenched, and your buttocks could hurt. And therefore, women should not ride bicycles because they're going to suffer from bicycle face and look unladylike. And really, if you think about the times, women didn't really leave the house. They stayed home until some gentleman came on a horse to escort them out. And suddenly the bicycle gave women freedom to leave the house. Plus, their dress code, they started wearing bloomers, which are trousers in nowadays, rather than the big hoop skirts they were wearing. And so there was this whole movement that they were dressing inappropriately and they were leaving home. And so the story was started that they would become ill and suffer from this bicycle face to dissuade women from actually riding a bicycle. And I was like mind blown about, and it's the power of storytelling that you're telling me now. It's mind blowing. I wonder how many women believed this nonsense and actually stopped riding bicycle and stayed home in case they got bicycle face. And it was just really powerful. So I was telling that, and I won best table topics for that story. And then I was sharing it at another Toastmasters yesterday because I do go a few times a week. And someone else said it's a bit like the Mandela effect. Do you know the Mandela effect?
Just remind me of it, please.
I also had to remind myself. So it's where a group of people believe something to be true, even though it's not. So with the Mandela effect, a whole lot of people believed he died in prison. But it wasn't. Or something like, if you swallow chewing gum, my son told me this one, if you swallow chewing gum, it gets stuck in your stomach. That's also not true.
I used to believe that.
Yes.
I used to believe that.
So that's that phenomenon, or where a whole group of people believe something that's not true, is called the Mandela effect. So it's like all of this is the power of stories, isn't it?
No, exactly. I mean, it's kind of scary. I've just started rewatching Game of Thrones actually, and there's one part in there where it's there's a person, one of the characters, and another one. She wants to become the faceless man. It's called the faceless man. Basically, someone who can just convert themselves into different people by taking their face. Anyway, the point is that they are able to lie, and no one can tell that they're lying. It's like an incredible skill that they have, and it was just making me think that how many things have I been told in my life, or am I currently being told in my life from friends, family, news, media, it doesn't matter, anyone, and I take it as truth because it seems real. Now, how much of my world, your world, everyone's world is constructed upon beliefs that are just not true,
like bicycle face.
like the bicycle face. There must be so many that it may be quite overwhelming if you found out in one moment how many of your beliefs are not real or not true.
When I was I can't remember what I was studying. You know, the whole 5 a day is good for you phenomenon, that you should eat 5 fruits and veggies. That is not scientifically proven. Basically, the farmers went to the US government and said, hey, help us sell more fruit and veggies. Let's put out this story that 5 a day is what people need to eat. Like mind blown.
Yeah, it's like the egg a day keeps the doctor away, or
Apple. Egg.
apple. Is it not an
Apple.
egg?
Not an egg.
Well, I got told an even bigger lie then. I thought it was an egg.
Really? Well, there is a
But I
guy on
didn't.
Instagram called Eddie something who tells you should eat 7 eggs a day. So you and Eddie should hook up.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. And because I mean that's this is smoking as well, right? With when tobacco companies were the king of the world in terms of businesses.
Doctors told you smoking was good for you.
Yeah, I mean that was genius. You know, let's get a doctor to tell us that on the TV that it's healthy for you. Genius marketing, but awful, completely unethical, of course.
Yeah, and I'm studying a course in sustainability at the moment. You know me, I can never stop studying. And greenwashing is like the next big thing, right? Where people are saying things are sustainable, but they're not. And we've just done a whole module on electric cars. And are they sustainable or not in their use? They may be more sustainable than petrol and diesel. But then if you go back to how they're made, where where the mining happens to create the battery that actually can't be reused, is just dead when it's done. Like, if you have to add it all up, right? So the whole story of electric cars are good for you.
Yeah.
If you look just in one little piece, maybe, but actually that's not good enough. You have to look the full story.
That's true. That is true. In the current state, that's true. I mean, there is a lot of work going on to make renewable and to be able to recycle batteries and things like that, but there's quite a long way off. The current state is not great.
So what's our message? We've had lots of stories. We've spoken about preparation being key. We've talked about emotions being triggered. What is our key message for our listeners today?
Well, clearly the message is don't mess with us, because we've got a bodyguard and someone who will finish in 7 seconds.
And a jiu-jitsu gold medalist. That's the key message today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a few, but I think I'm going to go with the power of storytelling. I think storytelling has the ability to change the perception that someone has on something. Given that you provide the story within a believable framework. You don't necessarily, I think it's clear in the world we live in, you don't necessarily need to have facts. By the way, I'm not saying that this is what you should do. I'm saying
please not.
This is the power. You don't even have to tell a story that is factual, but it can still be believed. But the point is, as long as it's constructed within a framework that is in the right context of what you're trying to do, it can be extremely powerful and change people's minds to whatever you want the output for the story to be.
Yeah, and I'm going to twist it the other way to say, be careful. Everyone is trying to sell you something, and everyone's going to tell you their thing is the best. We've all seen it. We've all been inundated with ads going, Facebook ads are dead, LinkedIn ads are the new thing, or, don't do XYZ anymore, it's outdated, do Y now, or videos are the new content, or whatever it is. Now, it could be true and it could not. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what is true for your audience.
Yeah, exactly.
And the person selling to you, this is what I always get confused by, because the person selling to me doesn't know anything about my audience. So how can they say that's the best solution? Because they don't know. They don't know anything about my audience. They don't know the message I'm trying to put out. They don't know what I'm trying to achieve. They don't know what my goals are. And this, I'm going to say, is the same for every business owner. No one knows your clients and your business better than you. So when people are selling to you, they're coming from their own perspective. Just validate it. Take a step back. Don't believe the hype. Could be the next Bicycle Face story. And in Bicycle Face, the scenario was everybody has flushed cheeks and a bit of sore bum when you're riding a bicycle. Everybody. It's not a disease. It is fine. But someone just said it was a disease for women. Why only women? I'll never know. But it's insane. So just take a step back and ask, really, based on what? Is this best for my audience? Before you just run around and chuck money around. I definitely don't like that.
Well, I'm gonna respond to that on the other side then. So for those people who are trying to contact business owners saying that the only way is LinkedIn ads and Facebook ads don't work, blah blah blah. I'm gonna say take a leaf out of your bodyguarding days and really understand who your client is, understand all of the variables, and create different campaigns for different businesses that might fit within that those audiences, and understand if your service actually is for them or if you have another service that is for them, and tailor it for them instead of blasting. I think you can get a lot more bang for your buck if you take the time to prepare and really understand who you want, the problem that your customer has and the audience that they have, before you spout a load of rubbish to them that's not interesting to them.
Brilliant. An episode full of gold today. Alex, not only your medal, but I think we did well.
Great. Awesome.
Have a great weekend, and we will talk again soon.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That wraps up this episode of Giraffes Don't Eat Steak. Thanks for joining us. I hope you found value in our discussion and got some new ideas to apply to your own business. Tune in next week for another round of marketing insights and inspiration. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. We appreciate you listening. Catch you next time on Giraffes Don't Eat Steak.